One of the most important things in soap opera acting is reacting. This does not mean acting again.
Hey, it's me, it's JSB, and today on Acting is Reacting, well, we're back with another random foreplay, which is where I take an album, artist, or playlist and randomly listen to whatever first four songs are that come up. So today it's another album. It is this album, in fact, Unborn Child by Seals and Crofts, released originally in February of 1974. So that's right, it's also another 50-year flashback. That's 50-year flashback. Just seems to get weirder and longer every time I do that. I don't know what's going on. Okay, so this particular album was slightly controversial in its day and is more or less forgotten now, and really doesn't deserve either of those things particularly. But the controversy stemmed from the title track, because this was blatantly anti-abortion, and around the time of Roe versus Wade, made it a hot topic then and probably still today, unfortunately. But that's only one song, and the rest of the album is really not controversial in any sense. So we don't even know if that will come up. But despite the controversy, the album still went to number 14 on the US Billboard Top 200 and went gold, which, being 1974, was as good as it could have done, because platinum didn't come in for another couple of years and after that. It also yielded a couple of pretty minor singles. That title track, again, stalled at 66 and was swiftly glossed over by the record company, who tried to pretend it had never released it in the first place, and they followed it up with King of Nothing, which did make it onto the Greatest Hits album the following year, whereas Unborn Child didn't. Even though it didn't really do much better in the charts, it just reached number 60. But because it's on that Greatest Hits album, which is, again, one of those albums I listened to from my birth until this very day, that remains a favourite of mine. Now, something else about this particular album that is of special interest to musicologists everywhere, or people like me, which is to say Toto fans. You can't really see that I am showing off a Toto t-shirt, but it marks a very early example of an album that is dominated by, at this point, future Toto members. So we have David Paich on keyboards, and he's also doing all the horn and string arrangements, taking over effectively from his dad Marty, who had done the arrangements on the Summer Breeze and Diamond Girl albums. Paich, of course, played on Diamond Girl, but he didn't arrange it. So he's joined here by David Hungate on bass and the great Jeff Porcaro on drums. So at this point, Paich and Porcaro would both have only been 19 years old. Later the same year, or into 75 in Paich's case, they also worked, of course, with Steely Dan. And it's interesting that Paich has gone on record to say that Jim Seals is every bit as much a perfectionist in the studio as Donald Fagen. So, yeah, let that sink in. All right, we'll dive into the album in a second. But as I always do, I'm going to curse it by saying what my favourites are and what I hope will come up, which means they probably won't. But here I'm going to go with Desert People, Ledgers, 29 Years from Texas, and I have to go King of Nothing. Least favourites, because I have those as well. Probably the last two tracks on this album are my least favourites. That's Follow Me and Big Mac. Neither are stupendously bad, but they're just not as good as the rest. And then there's Rachel, which is not quite a minute long, so that's more of a throwaway tune than a proper song, which leaves 8 out of the 11 tunes really pretty good. So let's hope we get those, but we'll enjoy whatever we happen to land on. Okay, here we go. Track 1 will be here's that 1 minute throwaway number I mentioned, Rachel.
Wish that I could wake again.
There's nothing wrong with this track, it's just very short.
And I'm lost again. But this is my favorite time of day.
You still get all the trademarks, the harmonies, and
To dry my tears away.
great production from Louis Charlton, who's
This is our
also on
only
electric guitar a lot of this album.
This is my favorite time of day. Rachel, don't go away.
Yeah. Simple, pretty.
Poor little baby,
And here we go. This is some full controversial mode. It's the
you hear
notorious
the sweet
title track.
lullaby. Oh, unborn child, if you only knew just what your mama was planning to do. You're still clinging to the tree of life, but soon you'll be cut off before you get by. Oh,
Now,
unborn child,
as someone who's not anti-abortion, I'm not exactly pro-abortion, but I'm not anti-abortion. I don't find this too strong. It could have been a lot more preachy than what we've actually got here.
Only to be crushed before you can move. Mama, stop, turn it down, go back, think it over. Now stop, turn it down, go back, think it over. Now stop, turn it down, go back, think it over. Now.
So Louis Charlton on the electric guitar. He'd also joined the Toto members when they played on Bob Scaggs' Synth Degrees album a couple of years later. And as I said, the horn arrangement from Mr. Paich. I have to point out, of course, that the lyrics are written by Lana Bogan, who was the wife of their engineer, which makes it slightly unfair that they won the Keep Her in Her Place award from the National Organisation for Women.
Think of all the great ones who gave everything.
Yes, it could come across as two men telling women what to do, but I don't think that's where they were coming from. So I think that's a touch harsh. Strings as well. Remember, 19 years old from David Paich here. And Jeff knew what he was doing from an early age as well, didn't he? Oh yes. Okay, maybe that's a song that's better if you ignore the lyrics, but it still gets the nod of approval from me. On balance. Should it have been a single? Probably not. That was probably unwise, but again, they were doing it for reasons better than making money. And here is a track I'm massively keen on. Follow Me. Again, it's not bad. There's some lovely mandolin work from Dash Crofts on this one. But yeah, we'll be hoping not to get Big Mac after this, because that would be a downer. Die. That's the only bit I really don't like here. The rest of it's fine, but yeah, this is not what I would call top tier Seals and Crofts. If you love it, great. Tell me I'm wrong. The arrangement is certainly musically strong. For those who don't know the two of them, you've primarily got Dash Crofts in your left ear and Jim Seals on the right. Seals usually takes the lead, but not always. Heading towards the end of this, and this means there's just one track left on our random 4-play for today. Let's if we get one of my favourites in, that would be nice, wouldn't it? But it's out of my hands. We have got The Story of Her Love, which is not my top 4, but it was very close. I'd call it number 5. And this is Dash on lead vocals as well. Was the other track he sang lead on here was King of Nothing, which was, I think, the only single he sang lead on from memory.
Everything she does, silent as the wind that blows. I watch her as her life unfolds, wanting to be a part of the never-ending story of her love. She came into my life today. She came and gave me words to say, knowing pages I have written on the never-ending story of her love. She cares because she cares, and she worships the same way that she cares, and she suffers because she cares, and I am the trouble that she wears.
the Steely Dan-esque adherence to studio protocols and meticulousness. You can hear it. It's everything is thought through, but not to the point that it's lost anything. You can overwork things, but I don't think they have here.
She loves because she loves, and she dreams the same way that she loves, and she suffers because she does, and I love everything she does. She cares because she cares.
Okay, as is standard on my random 4 plays, I will let the first 10 seconds or so of the next track play through as we discover what we could have won. I suspect this next 4 will be a stronger set than what we actually heard, but hey, that's half the fun of being random. And we would have got next Big Mac, so that's, as I say, probably my least favourite on the album, but that would have been followed by 3 of my favourites, really. Ledger's 29 Years from Texas and Dance by the Light of the Moon. The last 3 were pretty good too. King of Nothing, Prelude / Windflowers, and Desert People. So yeah, if it had played in the opposite order then it came up, I'd have been happier, but hey, I still enjoyed it and I hope you did too. Okay, so there we have it. That is today's random 4-play with Seals and Crofts and the Unborn Child album. We heard the 1 minute throwaway that is Rachel, the formerly, if not currently, controversial title track Unborn Child, and then we had Follow Me and finished off with The Story of Her Love. To say not the 4 I would have chosen, but that's not what I do. I don't choose songs, I choose albums and let fate dictate it from there. So that's what happened today, and to say I hope you still enjoyed it and heard some early arrangements from David Paich and some of the earliest recordings of Jeff Porcaro on drums. Can't go wrong with that. Anyway, that's it for today. Thanks very much for joining me, and if you haven't already, which you almost certainly haven't, hit like, subscribe, and comment below on your thoughts. And I will see you on the next video, when and indeed if that should ever happen. Bye for now.